The Xbox Bethesda deal is finalized. Outriders Demo gave us a glimpse to possibly the next big crossplay game. We're going to talk about it right here. Another episode, Two Streamers and a Mod podcast.
What? He had no health?
Welcome back to another episode of Two Streamers and a Mod podcast, where we cover topics and have discussions, anything gaming and streaming related. We discuss our opinions, but we'd love to hear yours. So if you like the content, make sure that you hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think.
Subscribe, click that bell, all that stuff.
All the stuff, all of the things. So you guys have been streaming, doing content. So let's talk a little bit real quick. Lolo, what you been up to? What you got going on?
Basketball season just ended last Friday, so I'm finally going to be able to... I love basketball. I shouldn't say so I'm finally like that. Like, I've been miserable. Like, I love coaching basketball, but I'll be back to streaming more regularly. I got to figure out my schedule. I'm thinking of going back to my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evening grind. That way I can stream while Fit Me is working, and then we can spend some quality time afterwards. I've been posting more on YouTube lately, man. I just started vlogging, which is fun. I never thought I would vlog, but you know, Fit Me has been telling me that I should do it, and I did it, and it's actually really, really fun. I don't know if you guys have ever done it before, but it's actually pretty fun. So I've been doing those, and I'm gonna have more content, man. I'm not so much caught up in what kind of content like should I be making. I'm just gonna start making stuff that I want to make, putting it out there, and seeing what happens. You know.
Nice. What about you, Cronky?
So yeah, this past month, I was grinding out Destruction All-Stars, and that has really helped my channel grow in a sense, I guess. But it's becoming a little concerning, and I say that because PS5 only is holding it back, because I feel like that's why it's dying so quick. Not only is it so hard to get your hands on a PS5 right now, but now they took it out of the PC players' hands, and let's just say they wanted to keep it away from Xbox. They kept it away from PC players and the PS4 players. But at the same time, I was also part of that crew where it's like, we're next gen. Let's make games for next gen. So if the PS4 would have held it back in terms of that, I understand. But the player base needs to grow. They need to make.
Is the game not on PlayStation 4?
It's not. And that's a big reason why also a big player count hit that they take. That's an issue. But
I didn't realize it wasn't on PlayStation 4. I just thought that it was only matching PS5 with PS5 and PS4 with PS4.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, can't even play it on PS4. And as far as that goes with what else is to come from me, we're finding we gotta, I guess, you know, that was a good groove we were getting in there with Destruction All-Stars, but I guess we gotta find a new groove, see what works, what doesn't work. But kind of like like Logan said, I'm gonna do some things. We're going to try different things out. Whatever catches. But nothing in particular necessarily coming your way from me just yet.
Throw a whole bunch of stuff on the wall and see what sticks type of thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And before we get into Xbox deal, because ironically you're talking about this PS5 exclusive, and now we may have some things as far as specifically the Xbox. Let's talk a little bit about Outriders Demo. It came out about 2 weeks ago now. We all played it together. We all played a couple classes. We put a couple hours into it. Just quick thoughts. I have my thoughts, but Crunky, what do you think about the game as a whole? What do you think about streaming the game? What are your thoughts?
So I liked the way the game felt. Now remember, we're talking about a demo. We're talking about getting level 7, not even having the skills. The fast pace felt great. The skills felt pretty cool, okay? And we didn't get to a point where we see how much gear affects how well you do against the enemy. And we got to, you know, I guess world tier 5 out of 15 difficulty-wise, how much that plays in. So end game type of feel we don't get for it, but like the instant enjoyment of the game and it being different feels good. You got like a fast pace, gears, cover to cover combat with some skills. Dope. What I don't like about the game is I feel like a lot of unnecessary cutscenes. Okay, and that's not necessarily bug related. There was
Like
bugs
the cutscene when you jump 3 feet.
Yeah, they do a lot of cuts for things. I don't know if they got to load parts of the map. The game doesn't flow well. I'll say that because of how much stopping and going with the camera. But when you're in something, feels great.
Okay. Logan?
I thought the game was pretty cool. Like, it felt pretty good. I'm looking forward to possibly playing some more of it. I felt like the loot that was dropping wasn't that cool though. Like, it's funny because they had a patch where they like decreased the number of legendary drops they were saying, and so I'm like, I don't even think I got one.
Oh,
like,
wow, yeah.
Not that I played it a ton, like, but I played it a little bit and I didn't get any. So I'm like, you're gonna lower the chances? Like, am I part of that low percentage that's just not getting them and everybody else is getting them? But like the cover system was a little buggy. But the overall gameplay loop I liked. I think my biggest complaint, man, people felt spongy. Like, and that was we're talking first 7 levels. I don't know what the level cap is going to be, but I can only imagine when you're getting later in the game, it's like, whew, that bullet sponge is definitely a concern that I have with this game. I mean, I was going through whole clips just to kill like grunts. I don't like when RPGs are like, we have to make the game challenging. Let's make the opponents take 900 bullets. Like, I don't think that's the way to make a game more challenging. So I'm hoping that they fine tune that a little bit before launch. I think the game has potential. I don't know that it'll necessarily be a huge hit, but I think it'll have its base. Like the people who like Division and Destiny, and I think that there'll be people who really enjoy this game. I feel like this is going to be one of those games that has like a cult following. You know what I mean? Like I think there's going to be a very loyal fan base to this game that are very outspoken about how great it is. But I don't think it's necessarily going to be like a massive, commercial success. I think it'll kind of just be one of those cult classics.
Yeah, I think at most it's kind of mediocre in the popularity, like you said. The aggression of the game, the way the whole gunfight and the gameplay is based around being aggressive. I like that. The abilities were cool. Cover to cover was okay, but actually getting into cover for me was buggy. Like you said, like that initial getting into cover, if you didn't you almost like you had to look at the wall to make sure you got into cover right at the wall. Like it didn't recognize that you were just next to it.
Right.
As far as like bullet sponge stuff, I think because of Division, I'm a little bit more used to it. Like that game in the higher levels, it's like crazy. But again, to Crunky's point,
just had a weak ass build, bro.
Again, to Crunky's point, we don't know exactly how the mods are gonna play out, how strong and how different and how unique they're gonna be towards the end of the game. So maybe that'll help you melt the enemies a little bit better. As far as streaming goes, I think this game is gonna be awesome to stream. I think this game is probably gonna be one of the bigger games to stream, even if the popularity isn't that big, because everybody is involved. Everybody can play together because of that crossplay. So I think as far as streaming it for you guys, if you don't have something to stream and you like the game decently, it's something to definitely consider. But yeah, that's it. As far as the Outriders demo, I mean,
Mario Golf, baby.
Mario Golf, yeah, that's not until June.
No.
Yeah, that demo gave us
Mario Golf gonna be lit.
So the real meat and potatoes of this podcast for today is the Xbox Bethesda deal. So I think it was about 2 days ago, it was finalized, $7.5 billion, if I'm not mistaken. They got probably one of the biggest development team in existence right now, right? They own the rights to the Dishonored series, Wolfenstein series, Fallout, Doom, and of course Elder Scrolls. what do you guys think about this deal? What do you guys think about what it's going to mean to the gamers and to the streamers? Lolo Green, I know we've talked about this a little bit a few months ago when it was initially announced before they had to go through all the regulatory affairs stuff. But what's your thoughts?
I mean, my number one thought, my initial reaction is: are you guys Bethesda fans? Like Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Dishonored, Wolfenstein. You guys fans of these games?
Yep,
I'm a fan of Elder Scrolls, 100%.
So I think that, well, you guys both have PCs, so you're in luck. But I think anybody that has a PlayStation or Switch, you're not playing these games on your consoles anymore. At least not the new ones. Like, I think that there's a few exceptions, like the quote unquote smaller, maybe less popular IP. Like, I have to believe Wolfenstein 3 is in development. That's going to be multi-platform. Deathloop, which is a game I'm champion. Deathloop is going to be dope. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait. That game is going to be another cult classic. That's going to be a game that people who play it love it, but it's probably never going to get as much buzz as it should. That's going to be multi-platform. But let me ask you guys a question. What's the biggest, like, you don't have to give me a number, but what's the biggest purchase you guys have made? Like, my biggest purchase is my car.
Okay, so then, say, same.
Yeah,
your car.
I
Okay,
mean,
I'm gonna go out and now.
But
when you bought your car, did you buy it so other people could drive it?
No, I get where you're going, but no.
And you didn't spend $7.5 billion on that car, did you?
No.
Like, there's no way Microsoft spent 7.5 with a B billion dollars so that Starfield could be played on PlayStation or Elder Scrolls 6 can be played on PlayStation. I just think there's no way that that's happening. And you know, they have these quotes, right? These quotes that sound good, like some new titles in the future. What new titles are going to be? The biggest new titles. And he, like, Phil Spencer has this quote where he says, he's like, there's contractual obligations that we're going to see through, as we always do in every one of these instances. We have games that exist on other platforms, and we're going to support those games on the platforms they're on. There's communities of players, and we love those communities, and we'll continue to invest in them. But I think that's very clearly talking about the games that are already there. Like, sure, we're not going to shut down the servers. We're not going to make it so you can't play them on there anymore. But, like, bro, Sony, you're not getting Elder Scrolls 6 unless you pay us a lot of money. Starfield, you're not getting Sony, you're not getting Starfield unless you pay us a lot of money. I just think that that's common sense. I don't think you spend $7.5 billion on a company to not use their biggest IP. Like, I do think that there's, like, even like, you know, I do think there's games down the line that maybe will come to Sony. Like, now that Bethesda doesn't have to worry about making money on all their titles, like, I think that maybe without this deal, they don't make Dishonored 3, because Dishonored has been critically acclaimed, but I don't think it's necessarily sold well. Like, I could see Dishonored being multi-platform. Like I said, Wolfenstein 3, I could see that being multi-platform. Deathloop, maybe if they do a Deathloop 2, depending on how it does. Prey, something like that, like those smaller, or not small, but you know what I mean, like less popular selling IPs. But, like, I think there's no way on God's green earth that Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield are coming to any console other than Xbox. I think the only way that I think this happens, and I actually recorded a video about this today, a little plug right there that I haven't posted yet. But and I didn't think of this until after I recorded it. And you know me, I'm a one-shot kind of guy, so I'm not going to go back and add it. I think that Microsoft's ultimate big picture is Game Pass. I think in 5 years, they're not going to care how many Xbox they sell. They want Game Pass on your TV. They want Game Pass on your Apple TV. They want it on your cell phone. And I think they're going to want it on other consoles. I think that they'll say, yo, Microsoft, Sony, if you pay us X amount of dollars, you know, like, we'll let you guys have Game Pass. And then that is how these games will eventually come to Sony. I think down the line, Game Pass is going to be something that's on every console, and I think Microsoft is going to slowly get themselves out of the console war. But yeah, my immediate reaction: big exclusives are going to Xbox.
it's funny you say that. I disagree with you on one thing, but before I get into that, I'm going to read a little quote from Phil Spencer. He says, "This is the next step in building an industry-leading first-party studio team, a commitment we have to our Xbox community. With the addition of the Bethesda creative teams, gamers should know that Xbox consoles, PC, and Game Pass will be the best place to experience new Bethesda games, including some new titles in the future that will be exclusive to Xbox and PC players." I think 100% they're going to be pushing Game Pass. I think that's their goal, and I think there's another quote from him that pretty much says that same thing. You know, they're all these games are going to be Game Pass platform exclusives, meaning anything that has Game Pass, of course. And again, I think they might do something down the line, like a Stadia-ish type of thing with their xCloud stuff with Game Pass, and that's another thing. They're just going to have that huge subscription of people to be able to play together with their Game Pass community. I think they're going to do more of timed exclusives than altogether exclusives. That way, they can still say that they're going to be doing games for other platforms, but they're going to have it for however long first. And you know, when it's out first for, let's say, a year, let's say Elder Scrolls comes out a year for Xbox before it ever looks at Sony or whatever, people are going to buy it there first. They're going to want gamers are too impatient. They're way too impatient. We've already experienced this. Why did we even pre-order Cyberpunk? I'm still mad about it. Why did we do it? Why didn't we just
out there?
Why didn't we just wait? We knew
because I needed to be in there with everybody.
Exactly. You needed to be in there
man.
At 8:00 when it dropped or whenever it was, and it didn't even work at 8:00. Sorry, that's my rant for that again. But anyways, I think that it's going to be timed exclusives. As far as streaming goes, I think that it's going to be great, to be honest with you. Because again, they're making sure they have a huge community, because it's not just Xbox, it's Xbox and PC. And then eventually I think xCloud. So I think that community is going to be growing bigger and bigger. I think we talked about it maybe a little bit a few months ago off stream, where it was like, who did we think platform wise was going to be like the front runner or something like that moving forward in this next generation? And Sony obviously is going to take off because they were with the PS4, they held the lead as far as sales and stuff. But I feel like Microsoft's doing a way better job of securing their future than Sony right now. And that's just my opinion. So moving forward, it's just going to be,
I agree.
It's just going to be more Xbox and PC players than Sony players everywhere. And it's going to be all around good.
And you keep this Xbox. So I'm usually a nice guy here. Don't agree. I do disagree a little bit with, I guess, something that both of you said. You guys are playing too nice. And I think for too long, let's talk like the God of Wars, the Uncharted. Think about all these exclusives Sony has and a little bit of the Spider-Man situation there. Other than that part where they talk about the contractual stuff that is coming out to both, I think they're shutting Sony out. I think Sony is like, it's not timed exclusive. Like, I don't want to hear about no timed exclusives. They
I agree.
Shutting them out, and I don't hear Dishonored, the bigger. No, gone. I think they're keeping it. That's part of Game Pass, which I think we all catch that trend that you guys have mentioned, which I agree with. Game Pass is their thing. Like that's their. If they had a board with all the stuff they're doing, Game Pass is sitting right at the center of all their plans and what they're trying to do. You're talking about a subscription-based thing. People are paying monthly. And then can't even talk about, think about just yourself. How, and this is why anything subscription-wise is, oh, I got the subscription. And then maybe you don't even use it for a month, but you know you're still going to use it, so you keep it. Then how about, oh, yeah, I'm going to do that trial, but you got to cancel it by this date. How many people get charged? Like, that's where the head's at. They're getting their monies right now. And I don't think they're going to play nice with Sony. And based off of that, like, this is going to be the place to buy it. They're trying to sell Game Pass. And that's what it comes down to. I think that all these titles, the Elder Scrolls, the all that stuff is strictly Xbox. If it did not have a prior contract with whatever before this deal was made, Sony can say bye to Bethesda. That's how I look at it. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I mean, I don't know the numbers, but I'm pretty sure they'll save so much more money not doing any research and development in hardware and just putting whatever money they already have in their Game Pass and maybe like the xCloud infrastructure or whatever. That way, they just keep that going.
And you gotta think too. Like I was reading this one article, but like these guys in Microsoft, this is business. Business is ka-ching, ka-ching. Like they are strict. Like they don't play. Like it's not like they don't have a soul. Like you don't play with feelings. It's strictly about the money. And you can see they say if any of the future releases are coming out for Sony, like that is literally just money lost and a customer lost. That's how they put it. Like they have no reason to have to come to Xbox or deal with Game Pass if they allow Bethesda to do Sony release. You know what I'm saying? So it literally there's no help for them. And we're also talking just look at all the other titles Sony has exclusive. Like that's the whole point. Like they're not gonna play nice with this. Like this is not something like, oh yeah, like no. It's
right.
They
I mean,
own it. They fucking like they like they ain't giving that thing to nobody.
I agree 100. I agree. Like the only reason why I think that the smaller titles may go to Sony is because, I mean, this is a big deal, $7.5 million. They're gonna act like they don't feel like they need to make that money back, but they do. They do need to make that money back. And I think that by releasing those smaller titles on more consoles, you give yourself more opportunity to sell more copies and make more money, right? So I think that when you put Wolfenstein on PlayStation or you put Dishonored on PlayStation, you're going to sell more copies and you're going to give yourself a better chance to make that 7.5 back. But you know, to your point, Hank, and I was going to make this point as well. Like the number one knock on Microsoft is they have no games. Like that's why I bought a PlayStation 5 instead of an Xbox One X, because I'm like, yo, without Halo, why am I getting an Xbox to play what? You know what I mean? So they need big first party exclusives, and they're developing this new super studio, this quadruple A studio they're calling it, that's going to push stuff out. But whatever they're going to make, and then you got Halo dropping, and then you get Elder Scrolls and Starfield and the next Gears, and you know what I mean, and all of a sudden you're starting to put together a pretty strong first party lineup. So I would be more surprised, like I would definitely be less surprised, I should say, if they kept everything to themselves than if they released Elder Scrolls or Starfield on PlayStation. Like I don't expect that happening at all. Like if they said, yo, we're keeping everything, that would be like, oh, I get it. Like I'm not overly shocked by that. Like I'm a little surprised, but I'm not overly shocked. If they put the next Elder Scrolls or Starfield on PlayStation, I would be amazed, and I would even think it was a mistake. Like I'm the type of person, like I want people to play games on whatever console. Like I'm very pro, players that way. But like at the same time, I'm like, yo, again, my car was not $7 billion. It wasn't $7 million. It wasn't even $700,000. And I ain't get it for somebody else to drive. Christina asked to borrow my car sometimes. I'll be looking at her funny. You know what I mean? Like, it's my car. So $7.5 billion, I don't know, man. That's a big bill to offer up your IPs like that. But we'll see. Time will tell.
Time will tell. I don't know. Like I said, I think that's why the timed exclusive makes more sense. I actually think that just based off of what you said as far as business goes, it makes more sense, especially if Elder Scrolls is just a single player game and you put it out for a year, and then a year later, when it's kind of old, you put it on another console and now you make even more money. But again, I guess we'll see how it goes. I think they're definitely going to be holding on to probably like 90% of their stuff.
See, with the big games, I don't think you make more money putting it on other consoles, though. See, because with the big titles, I think people buy bundles for Christmas with that game. I think people say, you know what? I could get it for $70 on PlayStation, or I can get it for $1 because they have this offer to get 1 month of Game Pass for $1. And then I just forget that I have Game Pass. And then like Crunky said, and now I've had Game Pass for a year, or even I don't forget, but in that month, I'm like, damn, they got all this other stuff too. Yeah, I'm going to keep my subscription. And then like, that's how they get you. Like, I think that the Elder Scrolls and the Starfields gets people to be on Game Pass for months and months, and maybe even buy a console. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what I think. That I don't think anybody's gonna be like, man, I should buy an Xbox. Wolfenstein is on it, or like, man, I should like I'm gonna get Game Pass now that Dishonored is on it. But I think that if you're like, yo, I could play Starfield, and I can, even if there's not a promo, I could pay $70 for Starfield on PlayStation, or I could pay $15 to play it on Xbox, and I'll just cancel. And then when you get it and you see, man, I got Starfield, I got Elder Scrolls, I got Forza, I got Gears, I got Halo. Like, I'm going to keep this. You know what I mean? And then that's where they're really making their money, because now everything after, month number 4 or 5, we've now made more than if we would have just put it on PlayStation and sold a copy. And now we have a customer for life.
I was starting to feel a little worried, but I guess I just did my little due diligence here. I'm like, we keep mentioning Starfield. I'm like, what the hell? Because I've never heard of this. I didn't know if it was like the second stuff. Like, they make these every 10 years. This is the first time they're doing it.
Yeah, new IP.
Yeah, it's a new, this is a big deal. Oh, wow. Original RPG set in space. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Role playing. Is this also going to be?
You got to look at the show notes, Crunky.
Is this going to be? It's going to be single player?
Yeah, and
we'll find out on the next time.
Everybody watching, make sure by the time this episode comes out, if you have Xbox Game Pass, if you have Game Pass on PC, these Bethesda titles that are already out, the Dooms, the Fallouts, the Elder Scrolls, they're going to be on there, so go check them out.
Yeah, I'm looking at a list right now.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the list. Let me pull it back up. Starting tomorrow, Dishonored 2, Doom 2, Doom 64, Doom 3, Doom Eternal, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Prey, Rage 2, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online, The Evil Within, Wolfenstein The New Order, Wolfenstein The Old Blood, Wolfenstein Young Blood.
That's Bethesda.
Terms and conditions do apply.
Yeah, that's all Bethesda. That's all Bethesda in there. And their sub studios.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
I might hook up the Xbox One and download Dishonored, because I played the first Dishonored. It was actually really cool. Fun fact: I got a second job at GameStop. I worked there for about 2 days. I was actually employed for like a month and a half, and I only worked like 2 days. The first day being the midnight release of a Call of Duty, which was crazy for a first shift, and then one other day. But one of the games I got with my employee discount was the first Dishonored, and it was super dope. But I forget what else was out at that time. Like, I was just playing so many other things, I never finished it.
So basically, you almost cover yourself if you just got a PC, people. Almost.
Yeah.
The
Tax money.
Sony exclusives are most of the time timed exclusives. There are some that still didn't make the web, but
yeah,
looks like PC.
Exactly. Listen, you get your tax money, right? You get your tax money, then you go to twitch.tv/Lolo Green. You gift like 50 tier 3 subs, right? And then you go buy yourself a gaming PC.
How much money do you think they give it away? 50 tier 3. That's all the money actually right there, if I'm correct. That's literally $1,500.
Oh, priorities.
That's like $100 more than what they're giving away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's talking about the taxes, too. I guess it technically wasn't a stimulus check, but Jesus.
You know.
Oh, my God. Anyways, you guys have anything else to say before we wrap this up?
I love you guys.
Don't be strangers. Write in the comment section.
Yes, please do. And write in the comment section. Let us know what you guys think, if you like the content. That is it for us for this episode of Two Streamers and Mod Pod. Of course, like we always say, well, like I said last time, play what you like, make content that's worthwhile, and make sure that you keep on having discussions. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.